All right, so in this lesson, we are actually going to go back to our lesson 10.1, the practice that we did previously, and we're going to add some new things to this one. We're going to use what's called automations. Some of us have already started looking at these, but in this case, we're going to do this all together and see what they actually do. So we're going to unmute this last one and see what it sounds like. Or on this guitar. And we're going to add something different. We're going to click on this button right here, and we're going to click on plus automation, and we're going to try the pan. Now what the pan does is it changes the direction of where the sound is coming from. So if you want it to sound like it's coming from the left speaker, then you can move it to there, or the right speaker, or move it to there, or the center, or a combination of somewhere in between. The way you do that is you click on this line right here and you create a anchor with this first dot. And then we're going to click on the end of it as well. So we have another anchor on that. And then our next goal is to figure out where we want to do this. So we're going to have this come across, and it looks like there's a natural kind of spot right there to bring it across. And then we'll bring it back over here where the repeat is. And then again, we'll put this over here. And so again, that is doing the same exact thing. When it ends, it's coming across. So we go back and listen to it. Starts on the left speaker, goes to the middle, left speaker again, in the right, and then the left speaker again. So you can change that a lot. If you really want to have some good effects with it, though, you would duplicate this track right here, and then you would put one of these on the left side and one of them on the right side. And you can click on these little dots, and it will, you can click delete or backspace on it, and it will change where it's at. So on this one, we're going to start with the first one here, and we're going to bring it right, we'll put it right here about in the middle. And see, when I duplicated it, it also duplicated this automation. And so this time I'm going to go through and delete these. And use my anchor on this one to be on the other side. So at this point, it's going to sound like it's doubling up, which is just fine. But that's one way we can change and add it, make it feel more full, more richer. It's another part of layering. The next thing we're going to try, I'm going to mute this one, of course. The next one we're going to try is an automation called Sweep. And I'm going to disable pan. The settings are still going to be in there, but if I want to enable it again, I can click on it. On the sweep, the muffled, or the hollow, or nasal, these are all different kind of versions of it. And so what it does is it muffles your sound of the music so that it just sounds a little bit different. So most of the time people use it on the track coming in. And you want it at the top of it, it's going to sound full, it's going to sound normal. At the bottom of this, if you put the line at the bottom, it's going to sound like it's very muffled. So let's listen. Okay, so that's probably a little bit too low because you couldn't hear anything. Let's try it again. And still, it's pretty low on that. So we're going to bring it up just a little bit more. And so you can hear how it sounds really muffled at the beginning of this, and then it goes all clear. So that's what it does. You can do that during different sections of your music. If you have a section of music that you're trying to get out of and transition to another part, you can do that. But it can also do at the ending. And it's a great way to either start a song or end a song or both. Next thing we're going to do on the automation is click on volume. And on the volume part of it, this is where our volume is normally set. And if we take this line and we change it, it's going to be wherever we put it on there. So we can change the volume of it at different parts of the track. And so this is when we create dynamics. Dynamics is when you change the volume. And dynamics is really fun in music because it can add more drama or effects to the music. It can add a bit more of transition kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to try on here, and we're just going to bring this. This is the anchor one, and we're going to have a decrescendo, which is when it gets softer right here. So it gets quieter, and then we're going to do a crescendo, which is this one right here, when it gets louder, and then it's going to stay constant the rest of the time. All right, so we heard that it immediately got really quiet right here because we have a very short decrescendo. And then it took some time for us to get back to normal volume because our crescendo right here, where it gets louder, is a lot longer. And so you can see that this is how it affects it over time. You can do this as um, like a fade in and fade out. You can do it on your own. You can control exactly where you want to put that in there. Because I know on the fade in and fade out of the automatic one, it's a little different. You can click on edit and fade in. Uh, but it doesn't tell you. I don't know if you can change it too much. You can change it with that, but you can't do anything else with it. So the volume is going to allow you to make different sections in the middle. Also do that as well. And then we're going to undo that. And so again, the pan will help you change it from side to side, so from left speaker to right speaker. And especially if you want to give it the effect of a concert or a live performance, you would have some instruments on the left, some instruments on the right, and probably the singer in the middle. And so you could adjust that on the track here, or the different tracks, to also give that same effect. You have to have a really good stereo speaker to have it actually perform like that, though. So if you're using just normal headphones, chances are it doesn't do much for you. The sweep on here muffles the sound and on the low end and brings out the basses on that part, but then higher you go, it brings it back to very clear. And then the volume automation allows you to control the volume of anywhere in that track, where you can do different things called dynamics. Either a decrescendo where it gets softer, or a crescendo where it gets louder, or you can just keep the volume at the same all the way through and adjust that too. And that is our tutorial on automations.